Oh, okay. I just didn't worry about it.
I accidentally hit the button, as
The
they say.
Button.
Okay. All right. Seems like this is an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, so you don't usually drink wine, so that's a different kind of drinking.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be, you don't feel great in the morning if you drink the whole bottle.
Okay, I'll have to go. I'll have to go easy. All right, I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready. All right. Welcome to Wine Time with McNew. That's wine with an H in parentheses. This is the bi-weekly podcast where I drink wine and interview guests about their pet peeves. Today I have the one and only Colonel Steve Akeley here with me.
Hey, McNew, how's it going?
Steve, hey, I finally brought you on.
Yes, how about that? So I don't normally get invited to the shows on the network, I've noticed. Like
So
Boots
this
and
actually
Bourbon.
might be one of your pet peeves that I haven't invited you yet.
Yeah. No one for some reason, Wes never invites me on any of the stuff he does. I just don't get invited on any of the shows.
I think it's because we love you and respect your time and know how busy you are with your own shows that we don't want to invite you to these auxiliary things.
Oh, okay. I
think
just thought
it's
everyone hated me. That's what I figured. So
yeah, you just were feeling left out and sad, but it's really just because we respect your time.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a good answer. So I can live with that. That I can live with.
All right, but you actually have a wine today that you're drinking. What are you drinking?
I do. So it's a funny story. So I don't know anything about wine. I don't know the types of wine. I really know very, very little about wine. And I don't dislike it. I want to be upfront. I don't it's always like there's always something that I like better. It's like fish when you live in St. Louis. People like you should eat more fish and things like that. It's like every restaurant I go to, because I don't live on the coast, there's always better options out there, whether it's a steak or even a hamburger so I never get fish. Not that I don't.
That's a Midwest thing. I will only eat fish if I'm on a coastal city somewhere traveling. I don't want fish from Indiana unless it's catfish that we caught ourselves. It's going to be disgusting if I'm not in a coastal city. I get that being from the Midwest.
Yes, and I know there's certain very high end restaurants that fly stuff in every day and all that. I can't afford to go there. I know that's not the type of place I go.
It's also not the same. It's not the same experience. It's not the same atmosphere. I don't want to deal with it and pay for it.
Yeah. Now, like you though, when I'm on the beach and then I'm gonna get that stuff and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But so wine is the same way to me. Anytime I'm drinking, if someone has wine and they pour it, again, I don't dislike it, but there's other things that I would prefer more, like whiskey. So when I'm ordering myself, I never would gravitate towards it. And I don't know a lot about it. And it seems like it is, if you're hanging out with people that like wine, it's pretty snooty and they want you to know all that stuff. And I don't know it. So it just it pushes me away from it even further.
So you want to drink something you know about. So you're going to order a bourbon that they don't know about.
Exactly.
Own your own place there. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I went out to a liquor store. Let's just say a liquor store. And I went in and I said, I got to get a bourbon barrel aged wine because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get bourbon. He's like, which one do you want? And I'm like, I don't know. I want that most popular one. And now I remember now it's called 1,000 Stories. And he's like, well, yeah. He's like, there's a lot of them that are popular, sir. I'm like, the one that's been around the longest. He's like, well, I don't know which one you're talking about. Is it a reason? I was like, I don't know types of wines. I don't know what type of wine it is. Sir, you're not helping me. Help you.
You should help me. You work here.
Right. I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, so then he starts taking me. The problem with bourbon barrel aged wines is they're not together. They're by, whatever type of wine it is, that's what they're by. They don't have their own separate little section.
Yeah, like so the cabs will be with cabs and the others will be with others.
And I guess that makes sense, but it doesn't to me. So what I ended up getting, I went with one that I thought I never did get to the 1,000 wines. So he never took me to that one. I thought of it after the fact. So I got one here called Layer Cake. It's a bourbon barrel aged wine. It is a Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't know again what that means. It's 2018. So yeah, that's a.
Okay. I like cabs. I can't actually pronounce its name correctly, so I just always call them cabs. But they're my favorite wine. So.
Okay. Your favorite wine, okay.
Yeah.
So that's what let me try this thing and see what we think here.
Yeah, let's see.
So it's called Layer Cake. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I get cakey taste, but it is good. It's quite delicious. I'll give them that. So I like this one.
I like that you actually have it in a real wine glass.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I got a wine glass for this.
How about that? I think I got the right kind too. Kind of the big bulbous
so I'm
one.
actually slumming it today, and I have a canned wine.
Oh my God! Why am I on this show?
No, so I usually do good wines, but this is from a potty pack. It has little dogs that are adoptable on them. It's from Daniel's Winery. It's local here from McCordsville, Indiana. And the dogs have names, and they tell you their stories. This dog is actually named Booger.
God.
Look at him, though. Look how cute he is.
Yeah, that looks like a dog that you would like. You gonna adopt that thing?
No, he has a family. It tells their story. He got adopted. But this package of canned wines actually raised money for shelter dogs, so I'm not super despised at myself for drinking it.
Okay.
It's called Windsor White. It's some kind of white wine. It's a white wine blend. But look at little Booger. We're helping him and people like him.
That just seems like a dog you would like. So yeah, that's
I do like them.
Do you like bigger dogs? Like, see, I like big dogs. So I like Justine has that Great Dane. I like that. I had a Greyhound. He weighed about 100 pounds. So Greyhounds can be smaller too. So it depends on the one. Ours was a male, and he was a big guy. So I liked him.
I've had this thing where I didn't like medium dogs. I liked really, really big dogs, like Saint's a Husky. He's huge. I liked really, really tiny dogs. I used to have a Pomeranian in high school. Her name was Macy. And then Oakley was tiny, but he's gotten fat. So now he's a medium-sized dog. So I guess I like all size dogs. I used to not like medium ones because they were just this weird shape. But I guess I like them all now.
If I had to get a dog, and I don't see myself getting a dog only because they're tough, because you gotta let them out, you gotta walk them all. The dog that I would get, and I don't know if you like these, I don't think you like this type of dog. It's a bulldog because they're not really into exercise and things like that.
No, they just want to hang out and eat. Right. Bobber, yeah. Bulldog, but they look cool. Like they're always there for a photo op until they get tired.
Right. That's the type of dog that I need at this point. I don't need one that has a super amount of energy. So
no, so I thought Saint would be great because I'm like, oh, we're gonna go walk a couple times a day. I'm gonna get in shape, but he's just fucking exhausting, to be honest. So I thought it would be great. Not so much.
Yeah. I had the Greyhound, and they aren't bad. They're not what you think. A Greyhound, you assume that's going to be a dog that wants to run around and all the time, and they're really not. They're couch potatoes. In reality, they happen when they run. They can run very fast, but they're not ones that need an over amount of exercise or anything like that. So
Huskies are weird because like he'll be chill, like he can chill all day while I'm working. But when they know their schedules, like they're so smart and they know from like 8 to 5, mom's doing X, Y, Z. But I swear he can tell time. At 5 o'clock, he knows I'm off and should be doing things with him. But if I choose to like edit a show or read a book or do something else, he'll go destroy something. He thinks I should be walking him or doing something with him. So he just knows. He gets bored and destructive. That's a husky thing.
Yes.
It's frustrating, but
pets, they figure out how to manipulate you. So we've got a little bit of a problem with Leo too. So he's a big guy. He likes to eat. And if you don't feed him, I've noticed is what he will start doing is knocking stuff over. So, and then you typically get
all those bottles off the island.
Right. Yeah. It's like, you don't want to feed him, you don't want to bug him, and then finally get up and God damn it, you don't get it, you fix it, and then you go feed him, and it's like, well, he just, in his mind, you just did exactly what he wanted to do. He doesn't care that he broke something or knocked something down.
No. He just got his way, so he learned that gets him his way, so he'll continue to do it.
Right, exactly. So, so pets do train you, whether you think that or not.
They do. Oakley's a morning dog, so he knows my alarms, and I ignore them a lot for about 2 hours every morning, and then
You're one of those people?
Yeah, I am. And then he hears the first one, so he'll start scratching at my bed like he needs to go out. I'm like, no, you're fine. You can wait until 8, but it'll be 6:30, and he won't shut up until I get up. So I'm like, I don't even need an alarm. I have Oakley. So they know. They know.
Yes. So, how does this work now? Do you need me to just start bitching about stuff?
What's one of your pet peeves, and we'll just go from there.
Okay. Well, I want to mix up your format here because I've got 10,
Okay.
and we're not going to get to all 10 of these.
Oh, you
So
got
I
10. That might be the most ever. This might be a 3-hour show.
exactly. We're not going to do all 10. Well, let's just pick
Give
out
me
two or
your
three.
top 3.
This is why I want you to pick what you think the top 3 are, and I'll run through the entire list, and
All
maybe
right.
I'll set
Yeah,
myself up
yeah.
like
Give
I
me
didn't.
the full list, and then I'll give you my top 3 that I want to hear about.
So I've got 10. So
Okay.
here's the things that today, as I was going through this, are things that were bothering me today.
Are these new today or just ongoing?
Just they're ongoing, but they're the ones that I thought of today when I
I'm
was
going to
doing it
write them down, and then I'll pick out my favorites.
because I think I'm an old man, so you get to where you just hate everything at some point. So I'm pretty close to that at this point. So
Okay.
here we go. The Kardashians,
Okay.
social media influencers. That touches on the Kardashians too a little bit. People who are willing to buy whiskey for 5 to 10 times the cost.
Mm.
People whose self-worth is defined by titles. Corporate America. People who threaten businesses with social media. People who attach MBA at the end of their name. Air travel. Local news and sports.
Man, all these are good though, Steve. Like all these are relevant to be
Just get
picked up.
going. They just get me pissed, all these things. So I don't know.
Okay, so I want to pick things that we're probably going to argue about. So let's start with the Kardashians.
The Kardashians. Yes, I hate the Kardashians because literally I don't think they have any talent at all. It'd be different if they were talented and they had a show that was interesting, but it's really not. It just is the show is just about them being somewhat them, though it's scripted to the point. You can tell it's like today we want you to go to the park. So they lightly tell them exactly what they're going to do, and then they make a show about that, and then they have to act obnoxious, and get in fights and shove $100 bills in a waiter's mouth and stuff like that. Things that would get a normal person arrested. This is what's called a show when you're the Kardashians, and then it translated into everything else where there's literally, if you get on any, I don't know what your news aggregator is, or if you read anything, whether it's Google or Yahoo or any of those, there's always a Kardashian story on there. And these are people who literally don't do anything, but have figured out a way to keep their name in the news all the time. And they just drive me crazy.
But are you mad at them? Like they literally okay, Kris did nothing. Her husband was O.J. Simpson's lawyer. They literally did nothing and then became billionaires. Like, I'm not mad at them for making money.
I'm not necessarily mad at them. I'm mad at society for allowing them to get to that point where they're at now because they don't deserve it. There's other people that work hard that are talented and are doing things that get ignored. And these people, these Kardashians, somehow get people's interest and they are powerful in that when we talk, if you pick out social media influencers, they're legit that at this point because people do what they say. They buy their stupid makeup products or whatever it is. I have no idea why. I don't know. I have no interest in that. I wish I could just filter out Kardashian out of my life and I never have to see a news story. My TV is smart enough where it cuts them. They have this technology out there. They're just not allowing us to.
When you do your GPS avoid highways, you could be avoid Kardashians.
Yes. Yeah. Bill Gates, I know that he's got that set up. I know there's no Kardashian.
Has that technology.
Yeah, someone has that tech. They're just not allowing us to use it.
But yeah. What do you think about Kim though? Because she made a sex tape. She probably leaked it herself. She used what she had to get to who she was, but now she's helping people get exonerated and she's going to law school and she's doing good things for people that don't have a voice. So beyond the boobs and the ass and the Playboy thing and she's kind of obnoxious and dumb sometimes. She's doing good things in the background. Does that change your opinion of her?
She's the biggest talent in that family, I guess. I don't again, I don't think there's really any talent. And in fact, she's doing good things. It's easy to do when you're a billionaire. It's easy to give $2 million a year when you have a billion. You know what? If I could be a billionaire, man, you're going to think if that defines what you think is a good person, you're going to think I'm awesome because I'm going to give more money than her in my time.
True. So. What would you think if her husband became president?
Why not? Right? Why not?
It wouldn't be the worst thing happening in the world.
Exactly. As crazy as this world is, bring it on. Make Kanye West.
It wouldn't be the worst thing. Just make America more of a joke. Let's go for it.
I don't care. Right at this point, I don't know. Kanye, I don't know what to think of that guy either because I do think, unlike the other ones, I think he actually has legit talent. I like some of his music and things like that.
No, so he's a fantastic rapper. He's a brilliant rapper.
Right. So, yeah. But then he goes on these tangents and stuff. I don't, and then he doesn't seem
like our current president. Like neither of them should have Twitter, so we just go with that.
Yeah, and Kanye, and then they say, I don't know, they say he has some issues, things like that, mental problems. And then should we be talking about him? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's legit or it's just
started a cult that nobody's talking about. Like he's done this Sunday service thing for like a year. And everybody's like, oh, Kanye loves Jesus and Kanye is into God. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's trying to start a cult and y'all just don't realize it. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening.
Right. Yeah. So, and that's my take on the Kardashians. I don't get it. My daughter is big into the Kardashians.
I will say I guilty pleasure watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians whenever I have time to. I'm infatuated by them just because, like, I'm not mad at them for making money the way they make money. America let them do that. They're obnoxious and they're kind of terrible, but I'm not mad about the way they go about their lives.
Yeah, I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at everyone else who supports them and what they do because it's dumb.
It is dumb. It's the dumbest of the dumb. Yeah, I get it. So let's move on to corporate America.
Corporate America. Yes, I despise corporate America and everything it stands for. I was in that hamster wheel for 20 years and I didn't know how to get out of it, despite the fact that it was made clear to me that I went into it with open eyes. I was excited, McNew. When I went to corporate America, I loved it. I was a sales guy who worked out of the house and my whole life was, what did you sell this week? You're amazing. You're a superstar. You are
a high, right? Like it's a high when you're like, I sold this amount and you did the best of the best and everybody loves you and praises you. It's a high and you keep writing that.
You keep writing it, but then it never goes away. So then you're on Friday, you're the superstar. And then on Monday, all right, what are we selling this week? Well, I just sold it. No, what this week? That's in the past. Mm-hmm. So and just working out of your house, I thought I'd like an environment where I work with people and could be part of a team and help people and I could travel up in the company and then help people with their careers. And it never worked out that way for me. Despite my working hard and getting on all these committees and getting my MBA and all the things that they tell you to do, it never did a damn thing. And then when I found out, because I had a unique set of skills, McNew, I was different than everybody else there. Right. I could write. I was creative. I was in an environment that wasn't a creative environment. So they would use me for those things, but they would never appreciate that or really know what to do with me beyond those things. That when they needed me, they wanted me. But then when it came time, they didn't know what to do with me for the most part because it wasn't an environment that fostered creativity.
Right.
So, and
corporate America sucks. Like it kind of just sucked. It takes what it can and then it sucks your soul out.
It does.
And then you're just kind of like, and then you have to do those goddamn year-end and mid-year things where like, what are your goals? And then eventually they like suck your soul so much where you're like, I just want to get paid. That's why I'm here. I don't give a shit about anything else.
I quit playing the game. And ultimately this would lead to my demise, McNew. So I would quit on the review things. I would I don't care. They would ask you to review yourself and, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being excellent, I would give myself straight 5s across the board because I always did everything I could, the hardest I could, put everything I could into it. And that was my absolute best. And I felt like I was outperforming everyone else. And, who got promoted was idiots, people who weren't as smart as their boss. That's who gets promoted in corporate America. That's who they hang their hats because they don't want somebody who's smarter than them. So I just struggled with it. I didn't get involved in it. I didn't know what to do though because I was making decent money. I had 6 weeks of vacation. I had nice health insurance
You were
and
living the American dream that they sell you.
401k. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I had all these things that really were like a jail cell to me because they caused me great fear to lose those. And what ultimately happened was they beat the life out of me where I didn't care. And I didn't play the games. I didn't care about their reviews. I didn't care about, I had done all this work on all these committees and things like that. And then I quit them. And then they're like, you can't, we need you. I'm like, I'm not doing it. It's not part of my job. And ultimately, you get labeled as a bad attitude. And then when they have financial problems that's who they get rid of. And that is what got rid of me. And it's a tough thing when, even though, I knew at some point, I knew that when they were laying people off, I was in danger and it happened. But you know what? And it was tough to take, but it ended up being the best thing in the world for me. And I would have never started my own company. I would have never done my own thing because I was trapped in this. You can't leave corporate America. You're making too much money. You're doing, this you got it too good. Just
It's
get by.
stable and it's safe and you don't have to worry about anything.
Right. Yeah. And there was those things. I mean, now I don't have days off or anything like that. I work every day of the week. If I'm on vacation, I'm working in the morning doing some things. In the corporate job, you didn't have to do those things, but you know what? I'm happier now. I like what I'm doing. And I'm making a difference. So it's cool. I hate corporate America.
And look how many people's lives you touch. There's like me and there's Becca and there's Justine and like countless other people whose lives you touched outside of corporate America.
That's the most rewarding thing in the world. And of course, I don't think very many people have heard this McNew. Matter of fact, I don't even know if it's played yet. We talk about this on an upcoming episode of our Patreon show, but we haven't talked about it anywhere else. And ultimately, the ABV network is going to go on. When I'm done, I'm passing it on to you. This is going to be my legacy is who I'm talking to right now. I'm giving the company to you, and we'll transition it in a couple of years, and it'll be slow at first, and then it'll pick up when I finally ready to retire. And there'll be a while where I'm doing things. I might just pick up. Maybe I just want to do the Bourbon Daily every day or something like that. But I want
whatever.
Right, whatever it is. I want to be like what you're doing. I'm picking out certain jobs, and that's what I'll do. And then you can get other people. But to me, that's the greatest thing that I can do because hopefully I can help you do what I was able to do and get out of corporate America. You can have the ABV network, and I feel good about that. I feel good about.
Cool. And like I love nothing more in life than the ABV network and just being part of it. So like it's like a compliment that you want me to take that over. And then I'm like, I hate my real job. So I'm like, yeah, if I can get out of that, let's go.
Yeah. So I want to keep building it into a bigger entity. I want it to get, bigger, better. I want to get it, in a good position to be able to, at some point, turn it over to you. So, and like I said, I'll still be there to support you and help you.
Right.
But I also want to set it up where down the road when I'm not involved at all, the company goes on and, it becomes a legacy thing where, this company and maybe down the road, you've got a long career ahead of you, but when you're ready to hang it up, maybe you do the same thing.
You've built it in a way that you have so many contacts and like me and other people on shows will be like, well, nobody knows who we are. But then like in reality, they do.
Right.
They do. Right. And then it always surprises me when they do, but I'm like, oh, okay, well, like we're actually important. So it should be an easy transition when that time comes because they'll be like, oh, yeah, we know who you are. I'm like, oh, okay, good. So
right. Yeah. I definitely think so. So that'll be good.
So you gave me a good list here. The most pretentious thing is people that put MBA after their name.
It is. And I really don't like that because it's not a professional title. It's not a designation. It's a college degree. It's an advanced college degree.
They worked hard for it. I'm going to give them the credit that they put in the time and effort to get that degree, but it's pretentious as fuck when you put it on your email.
It is. And it's not supposed to be that way. It's not like having, it's not a professional designation, like being a doctor or something like that. It's just not. It's not an easy degree to get, but that doesn't mean you should slap it on there.
So, but people that were like dumber than me in high school, so in high school, like you get your rankings or whatever. Like I was like 45 out of 90. So I was like the dumbest smart kid and the smartest dumb kid. People dumber than me now have MBAs. And I'm like, you weren't that great. Like you just learned some facts and passed a test, and that's why you have an MBA.
Yeah. That also brings up the fact, McNew, that another thing that pisses me off is colleges aren't differentiated in any way. So I went to Southern Illinois University. Great school. Loved that school. Upon my graduation, I graduated in 3.5 years. I worked hard and got done. And my dad was like, "Hey, you're at that age. You need to stick around in school. Just get your MBA. Stay there and finish it off. Most of your friends they're not they're going to be behind you. You're going to have the whole. You'll never get an opportunity like this again, where you can focus solely on school and get your MBA." So I did that, and guess what happened, McNeil? I flunked out. I absolutely, I made it to one semester and that was it. I literally took 2 classes and got a double F. So that was it. I was done. Dad wasn't so supportive after that. That ended my career. But then I went back. I did go back to a small university here called Webster University. Now, my company wanted me to go back, and they were willing to pay for part of it. Matter of fact, they'd pay for the whole thing if I stretched it out long enough over enough. But I wanted to get done because again, it goes back to I thought I was going to get promoted when it was done. So I went back and I ended up paying about half the money myself and sped it up and again got things done rarely short order and got an MBA. But it was so easy. It was going to Webster versus Southern Illinois University. Now, at the same thing, most people don't look at that as any difference. If I had an MBA from Southern Illinois University or an MBA from Webster, most people were like, "Well, you got an MBA." Bullshit. I went in both of those programs. I couldn't hack it at SIUE. But I flew through like high school with Webster. It was so easy. It was so easy.
That's the difference between like a community college and whatever else. You can get those degrees at literally any college. Like we have Ivy Tech, which literally any idiot can get into and flunk out of or go through or whatever. But yeah, you can get an MBA there. It's no different than going to Ball State or IU. You get your MBA. It's still an MBA. And when you put it after your email address as a professional, you're just being a douchebag.
Yeah.
It bothers me a lot. Like, it makes it like, oh, I'm so special. I got an MBA. You're really not. Like, you're not a doctor. You're not any better than anybody else, but okay.
Yeah, the corporate America is another place where they just love those degrees and all that. And again, I would always look at it because they'd be like, they'd cut people out who didn't have degrees but had great work experience for promotions. And they would look at degrees, and I'd be like, "Well, that degree's from Webster. It's from Maryville. It's from shitty schools, or then they even got these ones that you'd never even heard of. They're just like in strip malls, like East West College and stuff. I was like, what is that?
That's not even a thing.
Right. You're right. Who cares about a degree from those? Yeah.
Right. And then like I previously, like in my office days, had a girl, like we were always like aiming for the same position. She's like, "Well, I have a bachelor's degree." And I'm like, okay, well, like I filled out a community college and we're still in the running for the same position. We still are in the same position and make the same amount of money. Your bachelor degree is not shit.
Right.
You also have no people skills. So guess who got to go do the training and got to do everything else? Because you have 0 people skills. Your degree isn't shit if you can't work with people.
Yeah, exactly. And that's whoever made the hiring decision or the decision between you two, that's the smart move. Not just looking at a piece of paper and be like, "Well, she's clearly smarter than McNew because she's got the degree." No, that's bull.
Yeah, no. She just.
But that's corporate America.
That's corporate America, where they just look at a resume and a list of accomplishments, and I'm like, and they don't even care what you're like in person. That's fucking corporate America. I'm like, okay, well, you aren't capable of having a conversation or making people connect with you, but go on, see how this works for you.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Yep. The MBA is fucking pretentious.
It is. It needs to go. It needs to go.
People, and I don't care what field it's in, like, just don't be pretentious. Like, just be a normal person and be good to people. Like,
right.
It bothers me a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same way.
Mm-hmm. So I usually on these shows, I have this jar of my pet peeves. I literally sat down one night and wrote them all out and shoved them in this jar.
Let's do it. Well,
there's about 30 in here, but I draw one out for show. And sometimes I forget what I've written down. And sometimes I can or cannot read my own handwriting. So I'm just going to pull one and see what it says. And you can tell me if you agree or if I'm crazy.
Okay.
Okay. Leaving dishes in the sink when we have a dishwasher.
Yeah. No, that's you kind of know where I fall on this because I do dishes every night because I want that my fork
You
cleaned and
would
all that. I I, I
pay.
always feel like the dishwashers of today are so efficient that you don't need to have a huge full load. You just do it and get them out of the way. So yes, the dishwasher runs every night at my
Yeah,
house.
exactly. And I'm like, there's never a reason to leave a dish in the sink ever. Like,
Right.
okay, oh well, the dishwasher was clean and I need to unload it. Well, then fucking unload it. It takes 5 minutes and
It
put the
doesn't take long. It doesn't take long, and the dishes are clean. It's no big deal.
not, and there's probably not even that much in it because, like you said, we run it every day because
Right.
there's no reason not to. So it's going to take you 5 minutes to put those plates back and then put the dirty things in. Don't leave anything in the sink.
Yes. Yes. Now, okay, I'll ask you about this. So we may differ here.
Yeah.
Are you after every meal, everything immediately has to go in the dishwasher, or are you at the end of the after at dinner, everything goes in the dishwasher?
Absolutely, after every meal, when you're done with it, it goes in the dishwasher.
Okay. So we do differ there because I would leave it pile up for the day. So it's a daily task of loading the dishwasher and that
No,
not
I,
necessarily.
I literally want to never see anything in my like Chris does this because he's like, well, because he sometimes go to work. He goes to work at weird times. Like sometimes he'll leave at 1 a.m. to go to work. He's like, well, I had some cereal before I left and I just put it in the sink because I didn't have time to unload it. It takes 5 minutes. Unload it. He's like, it was 1 a.m. I'm like, God damn. And then I wake up at 6 and I see it there and I walk down and I'm pissed off for the day because there's dishes in the sink. First thing when I wake up.
Okay. So you want that done because you don't like to see a sink with the shit. You know something that I don't like to see, and a lot of people do, and it just angers me to no end. And sometimes this gets to be a male female thing. This isn't. I am 100%. That toilet lid should be down no matter what. There shouldn't be. The toilet lid is always all the way down. I'm not talking just the seat down. I'm talking the whole lid. I never want to see inside of someone's toilet. When I go into a friend's house, I just have to maybe wash my hands before we eat. I don't want to go in and see what's inside their toilet. I don't. So that lid should always be down. My lid's always down, no matter what.
I 100% agree with you. And I'm glad that you're a male that thinks that way because it grosses me out, right? Like, I don't want to walk in and see an open toilet. Like, no matter what I'm going to go do
Neither.
there, I don't want to see an open toilet.
Even if it's clean, it bothers me. If it's not clean, it just disgusts me. It just.
Yeah. Right. No, so I'm like, shut the lid. Every time I walk out, I'm like, shut the lid, shut the lid. I do it in all of our bathrooms. And if I happen to, we have 2.5 in this house. So if I walk in one and it's up, I'm just like fucking pissed and I'll just slam it down. I get fucking pissed about it.
You and I would get along well on that because that's something that just drives me. And then also too, you read what happens if you flush a toilet with that lid up. It's like you might as well take toilet water and just throw it all over the whole bathroom.
The poop particles are going everywhere.
You just flies up everywhere.
Yeah.
Why do people do that?
I for the longest time had this long-standing thing where I was not going to clean the kid's bathroom because he's a boy and boys are disgusting. And I'm like, I'm not cleaning that bathroom. Chris, you clean it. And he just kind of never did as often as I would like him to. So I broke down last Saturday and I just like gloved up and did it. It was traumatic. It was so bad. I'm like, how do you pee on the back of a toilet lid? He's like, I don't know. Use 7. I'm like, teach him better. Now is the perfect time to teach him how to not do that. Yeah. Just go in there every goddamn time and teach him. Because I'm like, or teach him how to wipe it up. It's all you gotta do is just wipe it. Dude, it was bad. It was bad. But that's also the bathroom that's like kind of like the guest bathroom. So I'm like, if we're playing poker or something, that's the room people will go in. So I'm like, I gotta like make it look good. But it was traumatic to clean that bathroom. Yeah. And he never shuts the lid ever. And I'm like, why
can't you gotta work on that, McNew. You gotta teach him.
I know. And the half bath downstairs, like he won't do it. And then I will like loudly be like, why isn't the goddamn lid shut? And I'll slam it and then slam the door just to try to make a point. I don't think it gets across. It don't get across, no. It should be down, though. It should absolutely be down all the time.
So any women who are like, as long as the seat's down, it's fine. No, neither. Everything should be down. That should be the agreement. The whole thing down the whole time, and then that's it. When you use it, you put up whatever you need, one or both, and then just go. Yeah.
And part of it might be because I have dogs, because they like to go in there and like drink toilet water. So I'm always
you don't want that.
Yeah, so I'm always like, shut the lid. But I'm also like, shut the bathroom door. There should never be a reason the bathroom door is open, because that's also disgusting. So I'm like, if you don't know, fucking knock. Somebody will tell you they're in there. Just shut the door. That door should be closed all the time.
So yeah, there you go. I mean, that's who we are, McNew. We got along for the most. We didn't fight.
Right? We didn't fight. I thought you were gonna like just the whole time go on about doorbells, because we don't agree on doorbells.
We don't agree on doorbells. No, we don't agree at all on doorbells. So yeah.
I want mine to never, ever, ever be rang.
No, I want mine to always be rang. So
there's no reason for it.
Yeah, I want to know when my stuff's out there. I don't check my email all the time. I don't set up notifications for anything. So that means if I've got something that's put on the porch, I don't know what's out there unless I happen to check my email.
There's like 5,000 apps, Steve, that are going to tell you your package is there. Just download the app, come to the Century, and you'll just know it's there.
Just knock, and then I know immediately. I just head that way.
Okay, you don't have 3 dogs that lose their minds when the doorbell rings.
Isn't that a teaching moment for the dogs to not to go crazy?
No, they don't learn. They don't learn. They don't care. A cat that doesn't give a shit about anything. So he's like, oh, a doorbell? Another human I can ignore.
Yeah.
No, so I get an app like Amazon. If I order something from Amazon, it tells me that they delivered it. UPS tells me they delivered it. FedEx tells me they delivered it. I don't need you to ring my doorbell. And even fucking DoorDash and Instacart, I'm like, leave on the mat. Don't ring the doorbell. Leave. And then they fucking stand there with my bags waiting for me to answer the door. I'm like, I literally put leave, and I tipped you $10 so you would leave, but you're still here. And then I get pissed and wish I could take my tip back because I didn't follow the instructions.
Well, it's probably on them if that gets lost, or you forget about it and then you call and be like, well,
I don't care. I literally left you instructions to leave it and go. Don't ring my doorbell. I don't want to see you, because I order things very early from those things. I usually am like not made up, no hair, like probably don't still have a bra on. Like, you don't want me to come to the door at 10 a.m. Okay, like just leave it and go.
You're getting DoorDash at 10 a.m.?
I get Instacart at 10 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes.
Do you ever have them come into your house and load it?
No, I didn't know that was an option, and I feel like that's a weird thing that people...
I do too. Some people do. They invite them in, not necessarily to put it in the cabinets, but to take it and drop it on the countertop or whatever.
No, I feel like
I don't want that either.
Please don't come in my house. Just leave it on the porch and go about your way. Like,
right.
Bring that into my home. Yeah, people do that though, don't they?
They do. Yeah, it's weird to me.
I feel like that's very weird.
Yeah.
Why would you want that?
I don't know, because I don't. So
people who want that, please message me and like tell me your rationale. Like, why would you want a stranger coming into your home to your kitchen counters?
Right.
I don't want that at all. No. Like, what if they're vampires though, Steve? Like, so vampires have to be invited into your homes, right? Traditionally.
Right.
Follow me here. So what if vampires in 2020 were like, I'm going to be an Instacart driver because people invite us in. And they just find a whole new realm of victims because they got invited in, technically, because people are fucking lazy and want you to put them on their kitchen counters.
I don't know. I guess that's how it works, maybe.
I feel like this could be a whole new movie, like just the Instacart vampire.
Right. Did you know I wrote a book about vampires?
I've heard this. I've never actually read it.
Yeah. It's called The Vampire of Cliff Cave. I wrote it. It's not like a story. It's more like a guy just telling stories. And it's the only character I ever based on me. That's the character that is me in a book. So it's not like I want to be a vampire or I am a vampire, but just all the stuff that vampire talked about is just bullshit conversations that I've had through the years. And I just put it into like a storytelling format. So
I like that. I'm going to actually probably just download it on Kindle later and read that. So I like it.
I thought that I would do a sequel to that, but I never have. I've gotten away from almost all writing at this. I'm just too busy where I can't do any writing right
You
now.
should
But
do an Instacart Vampire as a sequel.
yes, maybe
I
that's
feel like this is their way in, right? This is the modern vampire's guide to finding new victims. Dumbasses, weird people that let you into their house to bring their groceries in.
right. Right. Yeah. Loners. Yeah.
That's the
Well,
new way.
that's the new way.
How they're
So
getting in now. Because the rest of us are like, don't even ring our doorbell. Leave and go. They're losing victims here.
right. Right. So have you noticed like if you order garlic, they don't pick that up or anything like that?
Nope, haven't noticed that because it's usually something I like to get myself.
Okay.
I'm weird. So like I do order garlic and ginger and things like that, but like I like to go pick it because I want it to be a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things I'll actually go to the store for.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. You know my favorite type of seasoning? Greek seasoning. I like that on my food.
what is Greek seasoning?
I don't know. It's just good.
I haven't seen that. What does it
Oh,
consist
it's delicious. I don't know. I wish I knew.
Is it in a shaker or a
It's in a
thing?
shaker. Yeah, yeah. So it's these spices you can put on chicken and stuff, and I don't know. It tastes like the food that you get at a Greek restaurant if you're into that. So I
Is it
like.
like that tiki sauce or
No, not that because I'm not a fan of that.
okay.
Uh, yeah, because it's a white sauce. White sauce freaks me out for some reason.
Yeah.
But like other Greek food, I really like. So yeah, I'm a big fan. Probably Italian is my favorite, but then Greek is right behind that. Man, I
Ooh,
like Greek food.
I'm gonna look for that. So
Yeah, maybe I'll send you a jar. I got some good stuff. I
yeah.
got to reorder it anyway. I'm down to my last jar, so when I reorder it, I'll get an extra one and I'll
So
send it to you.
I got really into like the Flavor God seasonings, and
I
he
don't know
didn't
that.
have any Greek seasonings.
Oh, he needs to get on that.
He has some Italian and Cajun that is really, really good.
Oh, do you like feta cheese?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, yeah. So you start adding that Greek seasoning in, and maybe even some pasta and some feta cheese. Man, you got a good thing going there.
That
That's
sounds amazing. That
yeah,
sounds like a cool, good night. I would like
yeah,
that.
absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm teaching you here. This is a bonus. This is just extra on top of what we wine and we give tips.
Culinary school. We got added onto Wine Time tonight.
I think we should charge more for this episode.
We should $5 for this episode, guys. $5. You get
$5.
it's
Send
culinary
us five
school.
bucks. Yes, as a thank you, you tip your Instacart people. Tip us.
Tip
Please
us.
do.
Yeah, and we won't ring your doorbell. Tip us.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. We're not going to ring your doorbell. So how about that?
We won't get your dogs involved. That's my whole thing. I'm like, I really never gave a shit about my doorbell until I had dogs, and now I'm like, they're going to literally lose their minds. Please just don't. Just don't.
Just don't.
And like they have a whole box you can type it in, and I take the time to type in "Don't ring the doorbell," and they still fucking do. I'm like, did you not read your instructions?
You need to get mine because they never ring the bell at my place, and I want them to ring the bell so I know stuff's out there.
That's more. That's why I should move to St. Louis, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They won't ring your doorbell. Now they will throw it. That was the best when I got the
I love that.
picture.
I love that they threw it and took a picture midair.
Yeah. Does they control when that camera goes off? Because why would you send a picture of someone's package in midair?
No,
As
apparently they can't control it. They click it once and it is what it is, and they can't redo it.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know that guy who did that. He probably needs to work on his skill when he hits that other button that's going to set off the camera. Because
Yeah.
I don't think most people like. Again, I didn't have anything that could break, so I wasn't mad.
That's
Well, I did
gonna
have things that
upset
could
a lot of people, though. Like all the Karens are going to be very upset about this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, don't do it, guy. Or figure out how to use the equipment better so you don't get caught.
Or just casually just put it down and then go on. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I would have had something breakable, believe me, I would have been banging the drum about that. I would have been like, please.
Sure. Who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
Right. I want to pull out another one of my pet peeves.
Okay. This is a bonus one, folks.
Ooh.
It's never been done before.
Screaming kids in restaurants.
Okay. Yes. Yes. All right. This is crazy, McNew. You're not going to believe this because you don't have any kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a kid. And who's now an adult. So she's 23 years old. So she's not a kid anymore, but she's always my kids, no matter what. So, right. But I'll say this. I couldn't stand kids screaming in restaurants. And then I had a kid. And then I went through probably, McNew, about 5 years where I could handle it because my kid was always well behaved, but I kind of got it. I understood. My kid never was a problem. To my knowledge, I
Right.
don't think she was, but I kind of got it. But then I started growing out of it as my child got older, and now I'm back. I'm worse than ever. I can't stand to have a kid. Don't take them to those type of restaurants. I'm like, if I'm at McDonald's, then fine, all bets are off.
Right.
You can have a screaming kid there.
It's fine. It's a family restaurant. I didn't expect anything great to happen here. Fine.
Right.
Yes.
But when I'm at an adult normal restaurant and you got your kid running around or screaming or whatever it is, take care of that because I don't need to hear that.
Right. But like I also had the parents where my mom was the mom where if we made a noise or we were out of hand, she would fucking take us to the parking lot, probably beat us a little bit, and then bring us back in and we were fine. Parents don't do that these days. Like they just let that kid scream, being like, "Oh, well, they're just being kids." I'm like, no, take their asses outside, make them fucking shut up, and then bring them back in.
Right.
And my mom is even like that with like my brother and his kids. She's like, she's screaming, take her outside. If your food gets cold while you're outside, that's your own problem. Like you're not going to ruin everybody else's meal.
Yeah.
So I'm a team, like, if that kid's screaming, take it outside. Like, I don't care that you've had a hard week and you want to drink. Yeah, you probably deserve it. But, like, you also brought that thing here crying. Take it the fuck outside.
Yeah. 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 I'm sad to say that I'm the same way. I can't take screaming kids at this point.
No,
so.
I'm not here for it. Like, I just can't do it. And, like, I'm not a parent, so I don't have a lot of room to talk. But, like, I know that I had parents and they would take us the fuck outside and tell us to shut the fuck up. So that was what it was. And people don't do that anymore. They're just like, well, you know, he's just a baby and he's crying. Well, tell him to not do that.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Parents in the 80s and 90s had no problem telling their kids to not fucking do that. So.
Exactly.
Millennial parents, get your shit together. Tell your kid to shut the fuck up. Thank you.
Agreed.
I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, I feel. I'm going to get a lot of hate for that.
It just depends on what stage of their life. And if they've got a kid, say 5 years old, they're probably like, "What the fuck? Come on, man!" But if they don't have kids that are age 1 to 7, I think they're on our side.
Well, Chris has a kid that age where I'm just like, you're being very loud. And he will shut the fuck up in a restaurant when I say that. That's all you got to do. Just tell him to shut the fuck up. Yeah. In nicer terms, probably.
Right. Well, yeah.
You're being loud, quit. But like my niece, who's 2, she'll scream, she'll cry. My brother has the common decency to take her outside to the parking lot and comfort her and make her not cry. And then she can come back in when she's done. People don't have that common decency anymore.
Right.
Like, nobody wants to hear your crying baby. You can take it outside, make it stop, and then bring it back when it's done.
Yeah.
It's not hard. You don't have to sit there the whole time and listen to it. We don't want to sit there the whole time and listen to it.
Were you one of those kids that would throw temper tantrums and fall to the ground and all that kind of stuff?
No, because my mom, who is a saint, she really is, had this look. And if you got a little bit out of line, Nancy would just stare at you. And you just fucking knew better. So you would you just knew from like 5, 6 on, you just fucking knew. When she looked at you, you better just fucking stop what you were doing and act right and be quiet.
Right. Yeah, I was never that way, to my knowledge. I can think of one incident where I threw a little bit of a fit. It was when we were at some friend's house that lived all the way the other side of town. We live in South County. Our friends lived in North County. So, it's a good 45, 50 minutes away. And it had started snowing while we were inside. We didn't even realize it. It started snowing. And they were like, just spend the night here. And I'm like, yes. It sounded fun to me, like all two families hanging out. Oh, yeah. And they're like, my dad was like, no, we're going to go home. We got this. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, I want to stay here. And then they're like, okay, well, you can just leave Steve here. We'll actually bring him all the way down to your house tomorrow. And then I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. So my dad was like, no, he'll come home. It's fine. And I'm like, no, next thing you know, I'm crying because I'm a little kid. I want to stay here. And my dad did it. I got to stay there. And then when I got home the next day, I learned why you don't do those type of
Oh,
things.
you
Yeah, my
learned.
dad was cool. Everything was fine. Oh yeah, he could stay here and all that. And then, they come in, drop me off. They're like, "Oh, it was fun, thank you." And then the door closes. My dad was like,
The door
"Come in
closing
here."
is like the last sound in your mind that you remember
Right.
forever.
But my dad was right. I was being an asshole.
But but now people don't make their kids feel like assholes. Like your
Right.
kids are little angels no matter what. I'm like, no, they're still fucking assholes. And
Yeah.
you should let them know about it later, probably. But nobody does that. So
Yeah.
yeah. I just
So
yeah. So every other weekend's pretty hard for me because I'm the only person that makes this kid feel like an asshole. So I'm like,
well, good for you. Look at you making a difference.
it's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but no, but I had that mom. Like my mom was like, she would buy us anything, loved us to death, gave us the best parties. But like, if she was like, absolutely no, not whatever, like we should know what we should not ask about. And she just had this fucking look. And if we challenged it, it was like, oh shit, like Nancy's mad right now. Like
right.
people don't have that fear of their mom anymore. Like you should be afraid of your mom. Like that's a good mom if you're afraid of your mom.
True.
It's a
True.
fucking
Yeah.
good mom if you're afraid of her until you're about like 25.
Everyone wants to, be their kid's friend, and that's not the best thing. That's not the best thing for a kid to
No, she
have a
shouldn't
parent
be
who's
your
their friend.
friend until you're 25, and then you realize, oh hell yeah, like she had like the best interest out for me.
Yeah, yeah, because life is fraught with challenges and places where you can go wrong, and you don't need a friend guiding you through that. You need an adult, a parent, to walk you through those things. And
Right,
so
right.
yeah, I think it's a good thing.
And then I had my dad. My dad was that guy who was like, I'm never mad, I'm just disappointed, which was somehow fucking worse.
Hmm,
I'm just disappointed. I'm like, oh, okay. Like,
I'm disappointed. Yeah,
what do you do with that?
right, right. Yeah, parents get to you. They figure out a way. They figure out a way. Just like our pets, they figure out a way to manipulate
They
you.
all do. They do, don't they? Pets and children, they're just little manipulative shits.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
accept and we love them so much for no reason.
right. So, and at some point, do you think this will come full circle? Maybe your parents will be living with you or something like that. I'm not talking about like next year. I'm talking about down the road. Aging parents are a problem.
Man, so I've been realizing this. So like when I've seen my mom at like more and more events, I'm just like, man, mom started looking old. And I've talked to my brother. He's just like, yeah, she looks a little bit older. I'm like, maybe she should like get some work done or something. And he's like, no, she's not going to do that. I'm like, no, she's not. But she just like started looking old. And I never realized that she was the age she was before until this year. So it's been kind of hard. So I'm just like, who the fuck she's going to live with? Oh, well, you got fucking 6 kids. So clearly that's going to fall on me.
That's going to fall on you. Yeah.
Because I chose to not have children. I chose to have dogs. So
Yeah. I
clearly,
feel like, yeah, with your parents, you kind of lock them in at an age in your mind, and that's where they always are. And yeah, it's at some point you come to realize, wait a second.
Yeah, no. My mom was always like 45, and then she turned 60 this year.
Right.
And I just like I don't realize it when I see her in person, and then I see photos of her, and then I'm like, oh man, she looks old in that picture. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. I'm just seeing it like in a realizing way where it's, oh yeah, she's kind of on dad's level, and that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just have these moments in life. And when I was a kid, the best friends of the family was a family called the Fasslers. And, it lined up where they had 4 kids, but 2 of them, the son was my age and the daughter was my sister's age. So we had like the, built-in friends. We'd always do stuff together in the Fasslers and, we always did stuff. And then back in 2011, Mr. Fassler passed away. And that was just such a fucking grown-up moment for me that I couldn't comprehend that. He was a certain age and it just didn't change. And I hadn't seen him, very much after kind of got out of the house and stuff like that. And then and then he's just gone. And then you start looking at yourself and you realize, wow, I'm getting older too. I mean, these life moments just you don't. It's just things like that really just slap you in the face sometimes. So
they do. So like I've been used to, like, my dad's been paralyzed since I was 13. So like he's had health problems like most of my life that I remember. And then my mom's always like been the caretaker, the person taking care of him, taking care of us. And then now she's like, oh, like my knee hurts. I have arthritis in my knee. I'm going to try to work on that. And I don't want to have surgery on it. And I'm like, shit, you're going to have your own issues. Like, you're not supposed to have those.
Right. Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. I'm like, who's going to take care of you? Because you take care of him. Like, it's a whole different realm of realization when your parents get to that age.
Yep. Yeah. So McNew, I don't know if we were whining there, but we went deep, right?
That got deeper than most of these have. Yeah, that went deep.
Deep conversation there. So, yeah. So I don't know how you wrap this thing up.
Yep. I just wrap it up. Tell people where they can find you, Steve.
For me, I'm an easy guy to find at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. Remember that, because everything that we do is out there. If you like Wine Time, maybe you want to hear some previous episodes, that's out there, as well as all of our other shows and our blogs and our club, and all that stuff is at abvnetwork.com.
All right, and you can always find me as Miss_McNew on Instagram, and I am on the Bourbon Daily and also the Saturday Night Hangout for our Patreon fans. Check us out there. And I would also like to tell our audience to give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, please check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/the Network.
Yeah. Well, McNew, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Steve, thanks for coming on. Finally.
Yeah. Absolutely. We still have like 8 things we can talk about at some other time.
There's a bazillion things we can still talk about. Yeah. I'm sure you'll have more, and I'll have you on another time.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, McNew.
All right. Bye, Steve.
Bye. That was good, McNew.
That was super fun. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah. We did like an hour there almost. So, yeah.
I know. I didn't expect it to go that long.
Yeah. We've got a lot to talk about. So
we always have our own pet peeves, but that went deeper than I thought it would.
Yes. So I will see you Saturday. I got to remember your birthday gift. I've got your whiskey for you.
Let me know what I owe you. It's probably like $200 some.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I gotta remember. I gotta look at how many you got. So
I think I had like 2 bananas Fosters and 3 limestone branches.
Okay. Yeah. So they're $50 each on the Foster, and then 28 times 3, whatever that is. 24.
More than 75, because I was like, what's 25? And then I couldn't do the rest of the math. So
yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's what you owe. So yeah.
Yep. So I'll be there 11 on Saturday.
Yep, that sounds good.
Sounds good. All right.
All right, McNew. Have a good one. Thanks.
Bye, Steve.
See you later.
Bye.